Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the DnA podcast. I am your host, Darius Dominguez.
I'm the co-host, Andrew Matos.
And on this week's episode, we finally have all of our PS5 news. We finally have a release date.
And we have the prices for both the physical and digital version of it.
We know what games are dropping, when the console drops.
And then we're going to talk about what happens in the situation when Sony just all of a sudden just let you pre-order and it just was pure havoc.
Without telling anyone,
just pure havoc.
We're going to also talk about the Mandalorian trailer that just came out for
Awesome.
Season 2 that's coming out next month.
Very good.
And much, much more. This is going to be a really loaded episode. So let's get right into it. The PS5. We finally know everything. Like we said last episode, we were expecting this little release from Sony. We're expecting a little bit of an event, and they finally released it this week. So, November 12th. It's going to be an exciting day.
Yes, it is.
Finally, the PS5 is coming out. Now, we have prices.
Yeah.
We have prices for both the digital and the physical versions.
Yep.
And we have American and Canadian prices, which are very different.
Yes, they are.
So, let's get into the prices first of all. You got $500 for the digital version, American. It comes out to $658 Canadian.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
I don't think that includes tax.
No.
So that's a hefty price for
yes,
Canadians.
It is. Yes.
And for the physical edition, you're paying $600 American, not including tax, and $800 Canadian.
Nice.
Not including tax. So if you really want those physical games and you want to pay more on tax on games, you can spend your $800 on a PS5 this holiday season.
Yeah, I know.
So what do we think about the prices?
Well,
What do you think?
Before, like, when PS3 first did come out, it was, like, the same price because they're evolving, like, new technology in these consoles now.
Yeah, you
know
expect
what I mean?
it to be more expensive.
More
than the last,
expensive,
right?
yeah. Like, when PS3 came out, Jesus, because they just introduced the Blu-ray.
It was a big deal,
Yeah,
actually.
it was, yeah.
It was a huge step up from PS2.
And then the 80 gig was, like, I think it was, like, $6.99 Canadian. I think
it was at the time.
You know what I mean?
There was only one option too. There's no two options.
Yeah, and
right?
it was like, yeah, it was just crazy expensive. But now, like, this is not so bad because technology always evolves every day.
Of course.
And then, yeah, it's like, it's reasonable for, like, but for me, like, yeah, it's a little steep though.
It's a little steep.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
is.
I'm on your side. I think it's a little steep, but at the same time, I think the digital version. Okay, when I bought my PS4 2 years after release.
Me too.
I bought my PS4 2 years after it came out.
Me too. So did I.
And in a bundle, with two games, I still paid, like, with tax, Canadian, over $500.
Yeah.
Or just over $500. Which is ridiculous. And that's 2 years after release.
Yeah.
So to tell me that I'll be paying, whatever it will be, $670 for this console on release day.
Yeah.
Is
With no game included.
With no game included because, well, they might give you a voucher code for Spider-Man. I heard that might be a bundle deal.
Okay,
anyway,
maybe.
That's a different thing.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Where you could put the code in the PlayStation Store and get it on digital, right?
Okay.
I heard that's a possibility. They haven't actually announced that.
They should.
But to say that I'll be spending that much is not unheard of because, like you said, technology, like this is going to be a fast console. The SSD makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely.
And it has when the PS4 came out, it only had 500. The original version that came out had 500 gigabytes of storage on an HDD, which is not as fast. So to say, this one has 1 terabyte of storage on an SSD, it's a fast console. So you expect the price, right?
Price, yeah.
I just don't like that it doesn't have a disk drive, but at least they're giving you the option. If it's that much more expensive, then at least they give you the option.
Yeah.
The one thing in terms of pricing I wanted to mention that Sony said is, like we mentioned last week, Xbox is releasing a cheaper version of
the
Xbox
Series S.
Right, which is only, I think, $300 American or something.
Yeah,
it's super affordable for a new console. They said they don't believe in consoles like that, like a dummy down version of a console.
It's true because because when Sony, what they're doing is smart too because they're releasing. See, what Microsoft's doing, they're releasing the digital version, but it's just downgraded.
Yes, that's all
you know
it
what
is.
I mean?
Yeah, it's dummied down, like I said.
Yeah, dummied down. Yeah, and then now Sony is releasing the same specs.
Yes.
As the disc version.
The disc version.
Yeah,
yes.
To the digital.
So
that's a smart move on
their
end.
They said, I agree, and I totally agree because they said they don't believe in it because it creates more problems than it does.
Absolutely.
As a better option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it's more affordable, but you can't do half the stuff on it, and You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. It's a dummied down version.
Mm-hmm.
It's like buying the iPhone, whatever it was called at the time, the iPhone 5C or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's just you can't do much. The software is not there.
And like for the Xbox Series S, it's just 1080p. It's not 4K.
It's not 4K either.
Yeah.
Which, like, for me, unless I'm playing on a 4K monitor, which a lot of people don't have, you're just playing on a 1080p.
1080p, yeah.
TV, right?
Yeah, that makes.
Then it doesn't make that huge of a difference for me. So it is an affordable option, but I think in terms of where gaming's going and technology, and a lot of people are playing on gaming monitors and at 4K TVs now. Like I just bought a 4K TV not too long ago. So in terms of where things are going, like it's not. You shouldn't like pull back a little bit to make a cheaper option. It's just make your console as good as it can be and release one, or in case Sony's doing two, but at least one can play disc and one just as digital, right? At least you have that option.
Freaking the way how it looks, the Xbox Series S, it looks like a freaking. You might as well cook some burgers on the freaking thing. It looks like a grill, man.
Yeah, and the other one looks like a garbage can. So,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it does.
So but before Sony released all this, I was kind of looking at Xbox like, ooh, like that doesn't look too bad. And then Sony released all this, and I know the prices are a little bit hefty, but going into everything, I think Microsoft's in trouble because
they are.
Not only is their naming, whatever you want to call it, their naming system trash, because I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
still I can't memorize it. Not only that, but the technology on the PS5 is there. Like if you have everything, you have that 4K TV, and this it's a fast console. Like it's there.
And then like down in the future, now they're just releasing like 8K televisions.
It's always going to evolve, right?
Yeah, it's always going to evolve. Yeah,
gaming will always be one step behind in terms of on console. PC will always be up front with everything, right?
Absolutely.
But in terms of consoles, it'll
Yeah.
always be there. So, okay, what are we getting? Which ones are we getting?
I'm getting, like, okay, so technically what happened was that I was working at the time at work. It was because I was working the late shifts.
Sure.
And then when Sony
released
they showed what was their press conference thing?
Their announcement, their live stream show, their event show
on YouTube. And then I was like, oh, okay. Then all of a sudden, like, try to go on Amazon to pre-order. I did want to, like, I could have gotten it.
It was in your cart.
Yeah, it was in my cart. I could have gotten it.
Yes.
But I was like, no, because I want the digital version.
Yeah. So it was the physical version.
It was the physical version,
right?
Yeah.
The other thing, quickly to mention, you know what? We'll mention the chaos of the pre-order right at the end.
Yeah.
But in terms of which version of the console I'm getting, before the prices came out, honestly, I think I was going to get the physical version.
But you're going to get the digital.
But now with the prices out and thinking about it logically, how much more you'll be spending on a physical. I haven't watched a movie that is on DVD in years.
That's why everything's online now.
Exactly. That's personally, right? Yeah. I know other people have, like their Blu-rays and whatever.
Personal preference,
absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I haven't watched a movie that's on DVD in years, okay? So I don't need the disc drive for anything.
Exactly.
If I'm going to play my games online.
Like I said before in the previous episodes, I have like 5 Blu-ray players in my house.
So you don't necessarily need this to be another one, right?
Yeah, like exactly. I don't need it because, and I have my PS4 Pro
as well. Exactly.
I can just play Blueys and 4K movies.
And 4K movies.
All right.
So it does the job still, right? So it's all personal preference.
Yeah,
of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So with the prices out now and thinking about, because we're Canadian, we have to think about taxes on physical games, which is like an extra $13. So you're looking at like $103 per game now.
Yeah, I know. Well, so that's the thing too, because physically, when you buy in stores, that's what tax.
Yes.
If you buy it now, Sony, I don't know if they're gonna do taxes.
They won't. They won't.
If they don't, then digital's the best way to go.
Exactly, because the digital, it's always personal preference. But if you're looking at it in terms of, if I'm looking at it, I don't have it used for any discs. I don't have any Blu-rays or any DVDs like movies to watch. I play most of my games digitally now anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a cheaper version of the console. You're paying less, and then the games you're buying are less money.
Exactly.
Like they won't be as expensive.
Yeah, that's why that's the route they're going for now, because because back then, like, obviously the PS2 and the original like Xbox
days, back in the day.
Back in the day, they have the physical because they didn't have the technology back then, obviously, because
Of course.
that was years ago.
And I think even when the PS4 came out, I don't think that was an option either. But just the way the world has gone completely, like if you think about 2013, Netflix wasn't even as big as it is now. Like it wasn't. It was huge for sure.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even where it was even 5 years ago.
5 years ago, yeah.
Right. It was not even that big. So now everything's digital now. Everything's
digital.
So and they're giving you the space. 1 terabyte is a lot of space. I still have the PS4 that's only 500 gigs. It's awful. I can't save any games. I have like 4 games on it, but with a terabyte you can do a lot more, right?
Yeah, you can.
And it's going to be a super fast console. It's all personal preference, but the digital version's a can't miss in my eyes.
Because for me now, like I have the games on my PS4 digitally. I could just put on my external hard drive
and play them
on the PS5.
On your PS5, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I also think I don't know if this is confirmed. I think Sony's going to start selling their own external hard drives. Made for PlayStation systems. Maybe
Microsoft doing the same too.
Microsoft doing the same. It's a copycat industry anyway. So
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. But let's move on to the fun stuff. Games that are coming out because they showed off a couple of games.
Quite a few good ones.
Let's start with it's going to be the biggest hit. Spider-Man, Miles Morales. It looks great.
Oh, absolutely.
It looks really
it looks
good.
So good.
Like the first thing I noticed was how clear and how fluid everything moves. You can tell it's different from PS4. Maybe not like to an average person that maybe doesn't play as much, but if you sit down, like I watched the trailer and I was like, this is different. Like
it was a smoother frame rate.
Definitely, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And the characters just moved more. You can tell like it's a different software.
And the fighting, like the combat is so much better.
Yes, that too. Like more fluid. I keep using that word, right? It's fluid, more, and just the way he moved. I was amazed by that like 1 second clip. And one thing I wanted to bring up was I don't know if you watched the clip of him fighting the goons on the bridge.
I did.
That bridge. I don't know if it's confirmed, but when I first watched it, I think that's a throwback or a little Easter egg to the final boss battle in the first Spider-Man game from the movie.
Okay.
Where you fight Green Goblin on the bridge. It looked like the same bridge, the same design, right? Yeah. So I think that's like a throwback to that. But I don't know. Maybe they'll come out and say that's official. And the thing
to throwback to is when I think it's from Homecoming when Miles was pulling the bridge like that. You know,
that's another thing that looked good, like visually, like it looked cool.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
So it looks good. I just hope it's. Wait. I think it'll be good. The story will be good.
Yeah.
They did amazing with the first game, and we've said it time and time again. Superhero games like this, they're beat 'em up. So if you go into it open-minded and you just you enjoy the story, then it'll be a good game. Just don't be go into it thinking like, oh, this is gonna be.
I like now too because now they're gonna release that like the Ultimate Edition of that Spider-Man when it comes with the first Spider-Man.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
that's compatible with PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5. So that should be fun too.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
That's pretty good. They also released, I think, a God of War game, or a trailer.
It's
to
like
God of War game.
It was a teaser.
It was a teaser, I guess.
Yeah, as soon as
I say trailer, but
as soon as I saw the symbol, I'm like, yes, another one is coming.
Yes. So that should be good too. Like God of War is always like
it's such a good a
great series,
a great series in general.
And every console it just gets better. Like it gets better, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, nostalgia. Like the first. You can't beat the first games of any series; they're always the best. But as the consoles get on, the game just keeps. It looks better. It just plays better.
Yeah, it looks good.
So
can't wait for the new one to come out. Like God of War for PS4 that came out like 3 years ago.
From that, yeah, I think
such a phenomenal.
And it's a great game.
Such a phenomenal.
Great reviews and all that too. Also, I didn't think this blew up as much as it should have when they announced it. But the open world Harry Potter game.
I know. I saw. Yeah.
That looks. I'm gonna be honest. I have never watched Harry Potter. Okay, I've never watched it.
Never watched Harry Potter.
Don't care for it, to be honest. I think it's all right. I did a book report on the second book. I didn't even want to read the first.
What was the second book called again?
I don't even remember. But I did a book report in school for it.
It's not Chamber of Secrets. Okay,
it might be actually.
Maybe yeah.
I don't know because I haven't watched the movies or read any of the other books. But anyway, and then 5 years ago, I went to Universal Studios and we went on some of the rides, and I learned a little bit about it, and it seems all right, but I haven't watched it still. So anyway, having not watched Harry Potter and not really being part of that like fandom,
Yeah,
you know how
yeah.
everything has their own fandom, Star Wars or whatever. Not being part of that, this game still looks sick. Like it looks like it's gonna be cool.
I like it too now because it's in the 1800s.
Yes. So
So.
And like I don't know. I'm expecting the graphics to look awesome, right?
Oh,
in
yeah,
these trailers.
absolutely.
But watching these trailers like Spider-Man 2, it still blew me away. Like they look great.
Yeah, I can't wait. Man.
And having be open world, like we need more games like this. I think more open world.
Yeah, we do.
You know what I mean? Like the classic, like Harry Potter. We've had Harry Potter games in the past, but more like open world, different character games. Like I think that's the way to go. Where these these games should go. I think that's good like that. Let's move along a little bit. They think there's going to be PS5 shortages on a few. I don't know if it was last podcast or the podcast before. I mentioned
4 million
they were
units.
going to add 4 million units, and now apparently they're cutting 4 million units.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on with that, but they're thinking there's a potential to be shortages.
I think what it is, they're doing that for like the pre-orders online.
Yeah.
And maybe they might use that. Maybe that 4 million to release in retail
on release day.
I think so.
I think that as well. I think they have a plan here. I don't think they want to let everyone buy it and be sold out right
and be disappointed
before it even comes out.
Yeah.
I think they're saving some for maybe not release day, but maybe a week after, 2 weeks after, they'll be like, hey, guess what? New shipment and all these new consoles again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see how that goes. We're literally like almost a month away from this. Really, we're like a month and a half away from this thing coming out. That's crazy.
I know.
So I use the word shortages. I guess they use the word shortages, but I don't think it's a shortage. I think they have a plan.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's just they're going to cut it off at a certain number for pre-orders, and then everyone's going to get it, start playing right away, and then a few weeks later they're going to go, we still have 4 million units worldwide or whatever to sell.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens because it's going to be huge in demand this year because of everything that's going on. Like it's unbelievable. So see what happens with that. So let's get into the pre-order little havoc situation that went on.
Yeah.
The way I understood it is the event happened, and they didn't say when you could pre-order it. They announced everything, price, release date, everything.
That's the thing, because before in July,
yes,
I think the gentleman's name is Jeff Haley. Mm-hmm. He interviewed the marketing director of Sony, saying, "Oh, we're gonna let everyone know when it's gonna be like you can pre-order it, and then you're good to go." Now, freaking Thursday, didn't mention. It's like, oh, okay, that's available for pre-order,
but they didn't. And I was following along on Twitter. The event ended, and everyone was like, "Oh, they never announced when you can pre-order it." And then some insiders, and I think IGN actually tweeted out, "Oh, Sony has announced," or inside source is saying Sony's saying that tomorrow we'll open up pre-orders at 9 a.m. Eastern time or something, or Pacific time or whatever, at tomorrow, which would have been Friday or Thursday, whatever day it was.
It was Friday,
something like that.
Yeah.
So it would have opened that day for pre-order, and then somebody, I guess through Reddit or something, found a link, or just went on Amazon and it was there. And then they were like, oh, and then people started going on Best Buy and it was already there. And then, going on these different Walmart and it's already there. So then they figured that out. Everyone's posting on Reddit and Twitter, hey, it's already up. They lied. Like, it's already available. And people started pre-ordering it. And then they crashed all the sites.
They did.
So then nobody could pre-order it.
Yeah, I know.
They crashed all of them. And then they put them back up. And then they realized it's too early. We were supposed to do this tomorrow. So I think they shut them down. They shut down pre-orders for the rest of the day or something.
Okay,
because everybody crashed the sites because they weren't expecting the overload of people because it was supposed to be the next day. Right?
That's right.
So, then I think they shut down pre-orders until the next day, and the pre-orders continued. And I was surprised they didn't sell out faster than they did, but I think at this point they're sold out everywhere.
Yeah, just sold out everywhere.
It's just you can't find one now. I think.
What
a situation.
Like I was saying before, like I had my chance of getting it.
It was there, yeah.
It was there.
It was in your hands.
It was like literally at my cart on Amazon.
Yeah.
But I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, I'm not gonna get this version.
It's the physical. You had the physical.
I had the physical version.
Give context. You had the physical version in your cart.
I had the physical version in my cart. But like the end,
that would just not be a smart move.
No, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to stick with digital.
Wait in digital. Now, was physical the only version available that day?
I saw, yeah.
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 So maybe digital was already sold out.
I think so.
That's going to be the most popular one.
Yeah, digital.
100%, hands down.
Absolutely.
I don't even know why they went with a But anyway,
because like the end of the day, like I don't mind waiting, you know,
I don't either
to buy it because like the games we mentioned before, like the Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to be available too on PS4.
Yes,
You
I don't
know-
know if I'm gonna buy it on PS4 per se.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not
just
gonna buy.
don't know,
I'm not gonna
but-
buy a PS4 either. I'm just gonna wait until I get a PS5. Then I'll buy it. Then
Yes,
you know
but
what I mean?
see what happens, right? Because I went through the same thing with PS4. I felt like the PS4 was rushed.
It was.
To a certain release date
Yeah, it
because it
was.
kind of came out and it was kind of like so anticlimactic, like nothing really
Mm-hmm.
happened, and there was no games. There was like only a few games, and it came out in a time like it's coming out again this year in a time where all the major releases have already come out for the year, right? So you got,
But now,
gotta
like,
wait for the next year.
I think Sony's gonna kill it with like this year, just in games in general.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, it's
You know
gonna
what I
be
mean?
yeah.
And like not only
They,
that,
they have been.
yeah, they
for
have
the last few
like
years,
that,
but-
like we were saying, like it's just basically like the Spider-Man and the remastering Devil May Cry 5 Special
Yes.
Edition, and then they have like the ones coming out like early next year. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then the end of the day, like I can wait until I buy the console because no matter what, I'm gonna get it. So
You know what? I think you can wait and still be satisfied.
oh, absolutely.
With
Oh, absolutely.
in this type of a deal. I don't know if you could say the same for single game releases.
Mm-hmm.
Usually those are like you get it release day, but in terms of a console, especially this big of a decision and the prices, because that's a lot of money.
It is.
Let's be
man.
honest.
It is.
No matter what version you get, that's a lot of money.
It is. It really is.
And right around Christmas time during a pandemic is kind of crazy.
I know.
So I think it's something you can wait on. I'm not saying you wait years. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I think it's something you can wait on. It's
yeah,
not,
I can wait.
It's not like a single
buy it.
game release. It's
Yeah,
it's
I can
not the
wait.
same. So, yeah, I think I might wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
might wait.
I'll be the same.
I'm gonna see how things play out because they might. We don't know. They might add more in the time between now because they're sold out now and release date. They could add more pre-orders, or like you said, 2 weeks after, a few weeks after, they could say we have more that are just on retail or just retail, right?
Retail, yeah.
So we gotta.
If that's the
see what
case, then
happens.
I'm gonna go straight to like my nearest retail store and I'm gonna buy it and pre-order it
Yes.
or whenever.
I think also the pre-orders is online only, as well.
Oh really?
I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see anybody really going to retail stores online.
I heard.
I don't know though.
There were some YouTubers saying that some people were like waiting in line to pre-order it.
Yes.
And they said like we ran
out already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the way I see it. If you're standing in line we're Canadian EB Games, American GameStop, whatever. Same
Yeah.
thing. If you're waiting in line at a game store like that, behind like in a huge line, there's people at home just click, already
That's it.
pre-ordered,
Yeah.
and you're waiting in line there behind like 30 people, and there's people at home click, in my cart gone, bought it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna sell out quicker. It's the world we live in now, technology, right?
It is. Yeah.
So that's crazy. But yeah, I think the Xbox is in trouble.
I think Microsoft's a little bit in trouble too,
Yeah,
man.
because here's the thing: Microsoft made their big splash. They named it. This is the name of it. These are some of the games we'll have. This is when it's coming out. This is the price. And it was kind of like somebody dropping a pebble in water.
Yeah.
And then Sony released this week, and it was like like a huge explosion.
Yeah.
Like damn, like
You know,
it's here.
you know what this reminds me of? Okay,
Yeah.
so Microsoft. Let's just say you're a kid. You like to throw rocks in the river.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
You know, Microsoft, what they did is like you get a little rock, you throw it, it goes boot.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And, like,
And then
yeah.
you get a big rock for Sony, and it makes a big splash.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Big splash.
You know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
That was that was the word I was looking for.
You know what I mean? Like they killed it, man.
They did, and it was not even. I feel like the Xbox and Microsoft one just happened. I didn't really know it was going to happen.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't hear
right.
too much hype around it
Yeah.
going to happen. Then they released it, and then everybody was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then Sony, they're like, "Oh, Sony's event is this day. I can't wait to watch
Yeah.
this event." And then that happened. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is awesome." Then they announced the price and the pre-orders, and it's chaos. It's just more. There's just more there.
More
it's a
people
big
want.
splash. You're right.
More people
Want the PlayStation. They want
The reason why.
Sony
The
product.
reason too because they have exclusives.
They have like all the exclusives.
They have
the
all the
best.
exclusives.
I would say back around the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 days.
Yeah.
Xbox was winning all of that. They had
It
COD.
was.
They had a lot. I think that Gears, which was huge at
Yeah,
the time.
Gears.
Like,
Gears
over
was
Sony.
Gears was by Microsoft,
right.
and then
I-
it still is.
Right.
But what else? You have the Halo. And
Halo, yeah. No, I'm saying back then their exclusives were better than Sony's. It's a fact.
Yeah,
I think,
it was.
right.
Yeah, it was.
But I think the
you're
tide
right.
has completely turned the other way, where Microsoft has little to no exclusives.
No, they don't.
They hardly have any exclusives, and the exclusives that they do have are like Forza.
Yeah, like
not
Forza.
that.
Yeah,
not
I
that great.
forgot to mention that too.
Nothing against Forza. I think it's a fun game.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
But it's not Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not Spider-Man. It's not God of War.
Not God of War.
It's not Last of Us.
Exactly. So it's
you know what I mean?
it's not
I could just keep going.
there's a huge list now. Like it's different. You know what I mean?
Horizon
Like they're winning.
the Horizon games.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's
Forbidden West. I think there's new ones coming out.
yes.
Yeah, Forbidden West.
They
You know what I mean?
they're winning in
exclusives.
in that they are.
Yeah.
They're winning in a lot of categories now.
Yeah.
The PlayStation I think is on top right now.
That's the thing, because
And will
Sony
be.
back then was waiting patiently to see how it goes, and then people bought their stuff.
They
make
played their
more-
cards right.
Make more money.
On top of everything, sorry, I forgot to mention too. All the COD exclusives are on thing now too on PlayStation.
Yeah.
All the map packs, everything. It's all to Sony now. Sony has it all on the PlayStation. The PlayStation wins, and they can price it more because people will buy it.
People will buy it.
People will buy it.
You know what I mean?
So I don't know. I think that was pretty much almost half the episode today is PlayStation.
Yeah,
but
Sony,
it's worth it, right? Like
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
This is
it's like
brand new news.
It's a big hype up right now.
Big splash. This is the hype, and I'm sure we'll get more news and more games before release that are going to be released and maybe different bundles, because they haven't. I don't think they said anything about bundles yet.
Not
and you
yet,
know it's
no.
coming. They will not release a PlayStation by itself.
Probably near like Christmas time for sure.
Yeah, because I remember I bought my PlayStation 4 bundle with the Batman game that came
Oh,
out.
Arkham
Knight.
Arkham Knight.
Right?
Yeah.
Arkham Knight, and it also came with Last of Us, but it was a digital code. So I think they will do the same. They'll give either one or two games digital codes if you buy the digital, and then maybe it'll come with a physical Spider-Man copy. I think they're gonna have different options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you buy the physical, you could get Spider-Man, but if you buy the digital version, you'll get maybe two games, but it's not Spider-Man.
No,
you know what I mean?
Like change it up a little.
They might do something like that, or maybe the opposite. They'll do something there, I think, to try and entice people to buy a certain one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
but we'll see.
when I got my PS4 2 years 2 years after it came out,
the release, yeah.
The release, I got the Star Wars exclusive one with the decal with Darth Vader.
That's right. Yes.
Right, and mine came with Disney Infinity, but I didn't want it. Some guy bought just the Disney Infinity game.
Just bought the game.
Just bought the game. I don't really care for it.
Right.
And then it came with like this download code for like the classic ones, like Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Jedi.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean?
Yeah, the
Super
classic
Star
games.
Wars and stuff like that.
So I think I see them doing like a situation like that. They'll do something
absolutely. And then like in the end of the day, Sony's console, you can remove those white panels and put like new ones too.
New ones on exactly.
You know what I mean?
So definitely when this console will not come out without a game, and they haven't released what the bundle is. So I'm sure that's news we'll get and we'll talk about when the time comes, because it's gonna come soon.
Yeah, it's gonna come soon.
November 12th. It's coming quick. So we'll move on from PS5 and talk about something a little different. The Mandalorian comes out in a month and a half, ish. Season 2, Season 1, huge success.
Season 2 is going to be more huge success.
I think Season 2 is going to be even better than Season 1 because they know they're successful now. They're taking the story to a whole different place, I think, because they know what they have now. And I think Baby Yoda is going to have a very significant role. I have a theory about this season, actually. But you just watched the trailer, clearly, before we started recording.
Yeah, I just saw it, yeah.
So what do you think of it? Because I have my thoughts on
it. It looks good.
Yeah.
I'm guessing for sure Baby Yoda is going to definitely have the Force.
For sure. He's going to have a big...
he's a big thing.
Big impact. He's going to have a big role, I think. Like, he's going to be a secret... Not a secret. He's going to have a much bigger role to fill this season. Like, he's going to be a main character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like he's going to be with the Mandalorian. I have a theory that there... because in the trailer, if you listen, it's... basically, it's explaining that the Mandalorian has to get Yoda to some of the last Jedi or something like that. And then it showed actually Sasha Banks, who is a wrestler in a hood.
Okay.
She used to be a wrestler. I guess she's acting now. There's a theory that people think now she's a Jedi and he has to deliver Baby Yoda to her or something. And I have a theory, and I guess it's not my theory. I guess I mixed it with what people are saying or whatever. I have a theory that this season will explain that Baby Yoda is a clone of Yoda.
Oh, okay.
He's a clone, so he is Yoda, and that will explain how Palpatine was a clone in the last movie.
Yeah.
And it'll wrap back
Yeah.
and then actually make the 9th movie make sense.
It makes more sense.
I have a feeling that's what this is going to explain.
But no, you're right, because in the 5th one, the
5th what?
Oh, sorry, wasn't it episode 6 that he passed? He disappeared?
5th. No. I don't even remember. I think it was the 5th one.
Wasn't the 5th one?
Yeah, because Luke goes to train with him in the 5th one, and then Yoda's like, "You're not ready," and then Yoda pieces out anyway.
Oh yeah,
He becomes Ghost Yoda, and
Yeah.
he pieces out, and then Luke goes on to lose to Vader or whatever.
Okay, so it was the 5th
movie.
one.
It was the 5th one. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
so I'm guessing maybe they probably found like DNA from his sheets or from his bed or
something,
some clothing.
That's what I think they'll explain,
what I mean?
right? Yeah.
And then they just got it to the place. I forgot. There's those tall people that build the clones, like the stormtroopers.
Camino or something.
Maybe it was Camino.
I don't know.
I think it was
something. They'll explain something.
Yeah, when Obi-Wan was over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna wrap. It's gonna tie in nicely, right? Like the season will explain a lot throughout even the Star Wars movies, not just the Star Wars shows.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
right?
I would guess maybe they took it there to get it cloned. They could take it anywhere in the galaxy.
They could take it anywhere. Yeah.
You know
but
what I mean?
Other than story and where we think the story will go, the show looks like it looks great.
It looks good.
Like
man.
the action looks like it's gonna be really good.
Really
They
good.
have like the sand troopers or whatever they're called. You know what I mean? Like the ones with the Endor helmets or
No,
whatever. on the speeders. Yeah. Like no, not the sand people. The
I hate those guys.
not the Tatooine sand people ones. The guys on the speeders that were like on Endor. They're like
Sand troopers.
Yeah, or whatever they're called, sand troopers. Whatever.
Okay.
They have those. It looks.
Excuse me.
It looks like the action in there will be good, and they're using new technology to shoot the scenes. It's not like a green screen and they put like whatever behind him. They built a new studio where he stands on a platform in the middle, and there's screens around him, LED screens. So it looks like he's actually there.
Interesting.
It's really cool the way they shot it. I'll show you after, and I think you should Google it. The way they shoot it, like I think they won an award for it too. Actually, the first season, for this season or something, because he's literally in a room on a platform, and there's LED screens around him, and he's like there. It's
That's
just
cool.
it's different, so he can actually interact with. It's like
That's cool.
Filmmaking is going to change because of the technology they're using.
That's really cool.
It is
man.
really cool. So I think this Mandalorian season is going to look. The story is going to be awesome. I think.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it, and I think that it's going to look sick. So.
I think so too.
I'm excited for it. And another show that's going to come out soon too, the 4th season of Stranger Things, and you have to watch that so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I know.
Andrew has not watched Stranger Things.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
I should watch it, I know.
People love that show, man. And Mandalorian too. So that's coming out soon. It should be fun. All right, so before we get into the next topic, a little bit of an edit here because we took a break. Basically, breaking news on the podcast. It has been confirmed today that the same actor who played Boba Fett and Jango Fett in the Star Wars trilogy, he played Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Will play Boba Fett in the Mandalorian season 2.
That's awesome.
That's
man.
huge news.
That's
right?
awesome.
Because we were, the Mandalorians are, the bounty hunters, and
yes, exactly.
Mando from the first season looks like Boba Fett, but he's not.
Yeah.
And now we have confirmation that Boba Fett will be in this season.
That's gonna be awesome, man.
That is sick. And the other thing that's crazy that I guess it's gonna explain it in the season. He died.
Yeah.
He died in episode 6.
Yeah, he did die.
He died. So he fell into the pit, right? So how did they explain how he lived? That's going to be crazy. There's so much to talk about.
My theory, what it is going to happen is that he probably, when he got eaten,
yes,
he probably is going to shoot the sand worm that ate him?
Sarlacc pit or whatever thing.
Yeah. I think what it is, he's probably he's stabbed it in his mouth, and he's probably shooting the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And then he just flies out of there.
And he gets out of there.
He gets out of there.
And we don't see that back in the original movie. That's crazy.
You know what'd be cool?
That is news.
You know what'd be awesome?
Yeah.
If they have those floating ships that they were gonna send Luke and Leia and Han in that pit
into there, yeah.
Maybe it would be cool if he climbed out and he got his hook and he attached it to one of those ships and he dragged them out of the sand and he's walking or something.
Huh.
That would be a cool premise.
This is going to be really cool.
That would be a cool premise if they did that.
This is going to be
I don't know.
really cool. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens because that is I'm glad I caught this before we finished recording today because that is huge news. Boba Fett is actually in The Mandalorian.
That's awesome, man.
It was rumored for a long time. Like maybe he'll show up because he's a bounty hunter as well and whatever. But he died.
Yeah, he did.
And The Mandalorian, or supposedly they haven't. I don't know if it's official. Takes place between episodes 6 and 7.
Yes.
So he's supposed to be dead. So they're gonna have to explain that somehow because he's back.
The way I said, if they did that, that would be such a phenomenal way.
They're gonna. Well, I'm sure they'll figure it out. And the people that are in charge of the show, I trust them, and I think I think it's going to make total sense, and this is going to be good. This is good
big news, man.
This is good news.
I can't wait.
So we'll move on. So some more breaking news on the podcast. This is crazy. There's so much coming out today, I guess. Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson, and Michael Keaton will all star as Batman in various upcoming DC films.
That's awesome.
Dude. Michael Keaton is going to be Batman again. How crazy is that?
I know.
That is big news.
It is big news.
That is big news.
That's like one of my favorite Batmans.
Yeah, and this confirms that there is a universe like in DC. Like they have Ben Affleck. Like they're all in their own kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's
exactly.
This confirms.
Well, in the show The Flash, it's called the multiverse.
The multiverse. Yes.
Yeah,
sorry, I was looking.
It's okay. No, it's fine.
But that is huge news.
Yes, it is.
That is interesting.
Yes, it is.
So we know for sure that they will all be back. Robert Pattinson hasn't even played Batman yet. Technically, he hasn't. The movie hasn't come out. But that is huge.
But Michael Keaton, man,
returning. That's
awesome.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
So maybe it is a multiverse.
Probably
movie because they were talking about that. So maybe that is something that they're
maybe
going into now.
Maybe
gonna be crazy, man.
If the Flash can travel to multiverses. Might do something like the storyline like that, you know what I mean?
Exactly. But just to hear those names specific, like that's crazy.
Those three, that
is huge.
There's other breaking news too that Henry Cavill is going to play Superman in the third film.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is.
That is big news too.
He does a really good Superman, man.
He's pretty good. Yeah,
he's a really good Superman.
No complaints. When I complain about those movies and DC movies, I'm not complaining that he's a bad actor or any of them are bad actors.
He's in The Witcher, for heaven's sake.
It's the writing and some of the editing that is not up to par. I have no problem with him being Superman.
Absolutely,
he actually does a really good job.
Absolutely,
I have no problem with him. So that is some breaking and interesting news. That is exciting.
I can't wait.
We're gonna jump into our movie reviews, as we do every week. So we're following the MCU.
Yeah, the good movies this time.
We actually have good movies to talk about.
Yeah.
Last week was, I think, a bit of a write-off because they were just honestly like two of the worst movies, maybe.
This movie we're going to mention right now, this is the movie that
top tier, I think.
Top tier, the whole MCU franchise.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Especially when they came out, they were probably they were up there. But anyway, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So next on the MCU list, in order, is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Great movie. And Guardians of the Galaxy 1, like the first one.
Another great movie.
Which was a huge splash when it came out. But we'll get into it. Captain America, Winter Soldier. One of my favorite movies at the time.
This is, at the time when it came out,
yes,
this was my first
MCU.
movie.
Yeah.
Hands down.
It was awesome.
It's
like when it came out.
Good movie.
Not saying it's not great still. I'm just there's better movies that have come out since.
Oh, yeah, since.
Right? But this is a top tier.
This is a top tier
MCU
movie, man.
I like the action. The storyline is really good.
So good.
It starts tying in things to how the next Avengers movies will carry out, right?
And then how how Hydra was, like I was saying before in the review of Captain America: First Avenger, when Hydra sneaked their way into Shield, and they got compromised
by
Nick Fury.
Explains exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a good story. Like it's a good movie.
A good premise.
Yes.
And
like I said, it ties everything in nicely.
And they introduced the Winter Soldier.
And that whole story, which ended up being, I would say, some of people's favorite.
The character,
favorite character.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
Okay, I don't want to spoil. I don't like spoiling stuff, but that's
this movie's been out.
Captain America. Steve Rogers' best friend Bucky.
Best friends, yeah.
Right?
Is and my point is, like you said, it's become some people's favorite character or a character that they
got attached to
and they like.
They got attached to
right?
It,
and it starts here, right? So it's It's a great movie.
And like not only that, too. Like they used the Winter Soldier was like killing people from time, and when Captain America was like frozen in the ice.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, this predates Captain America being Captain America, right?
America.
Yeah.
At the
Air
time,
quotes.
at the time in this movie, I think he was 80 or 70 something. I think he was like
years old?
70, 75 or 76 at the time. Something like that.
Something like that. What I was gonna say is, I think this movie it's one of those movies that does have replay value.
Oh yeah, this
you
one. Yeah.
Like if it's on TV, we keep talking about like if it's on TV
Or like if I could put on Disney Plus,
just Disney Plus,
I'll just watch it again.
You would watch it. It's a
Oh,
movie like I wouldn't mind watching.
Such a good movie.
Great movie. So it definitely has replay value. There's a lot going for it. Do you want to get into ratings?
Yeah, hands down for me, it's 10 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I love this
First
movie.
10 out of 10 on the...
Yeah.
Really?
I love this movie. Man.
Wow.
I love this movie.
I wouldn't go that high.
No,
but
for me, it's hands down 10 out of 10.
that's first 10 out of 10 on the podcast,
I love
ladies
it.
and gentlemen.
I love it.
First,
such a good movie.
first
man.
10 out of 10.
That's the type of movie I could just keep watching, and the action never gets old.
Never gets old. I have movies like that too.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, I feel that.
Just like the fight with Captain America and his buddy Bucky, the Winter Soldier,
Yes, yeah.
on the street. It's just the combat and everything.
It's an emotion. You're emotionally invested into the,
Yeah,
into
and
the
like
scene, right?
he throws the shield, like he's running through buildings, and it's like through a building, and like a
it's sick.
corridor.
Yeah, it's
he's
sick.
like smashing through doors, and he jumps out the window, throws his shield, and he just catches it.
It's a sick.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
it's
the action is really.
it's so good, man.
There's some movies in the MCU, and this is one where the action is really good. Like
even the freaking SUV drives himself, bro.
yeah.
And it has a machine gun.
A machine gun
in the middle compartment.
Compartment.
It just pops up, but he's like shooting
So sick.
the Hydra people.
Agents.
Agents.
Agents? Are they called something like that?
Well,
I don't know if that's the correct
they're
terminology.
technically supposed to be the Shield agents,
Yes.
but they're from Hydra.
So they're. I wasn't wrong. What I meant was that.
Yeah.
they're
That's what I know what
I
you
mean.
mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I would give it like a 8.5.
8.5.
Now I know that's a little bit low because
No, so that's fine.
but I think 10 is your personal preference.
Oh, yeah.
8.5. It's a really good movie. It has a replay value. It's a fun movie to watch. The action's really good. I just don't think it's like top tier kind of up there with some of the other ones.
For me, it's 10 out of 10.
Maybe at the time it would have been a 10 out of 10 for me if we were talking about this when it came out. But knowing what movies are coming,
that's
it's a
the thing
little
too,
different for me.
because when other movies came out
Yeah.
of the MCU, it was good. I enjoyed
Right.
it.
But this is
This one it stuck in my heart.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
story was phenomenal.
phenomenal. Yes.
Everything about it was such a good movie.
It's
So yeah,
true.
that's my rating. 10 out of 10, hands down.
Cool. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
When this movie came out,
Yeah.
different.
I'm gonna tell you something about this one.
Yes.
I don't know who the hell Rocket Raccoon was. I don't know who the hell Groot was.
Yes.
Drax the Destroyer.
Yes.
Gamora.
Yes.
And Star-Lord, aka Peter Quill. Okay?
Yep.
I didn't know nothing about these characters.
I will agree with that.
And I was like, who the hell wants a movie with a talking raccoon?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watched it.
Game changer.
I loved it.
Game changer.
Hands down, such a good movie.
And the soundtrack.
It's so good.
Like out of this world.
I even have the volume 1 and 2
on CD.
CD in
Yeah.
my car
'Cause
right
it's
now.
really good.
It's such a good soundtrack.
It's the best soundtrack in the MCU.
Oh, hands down.
This movie.
Hands down.
100%.
Hands down.
But yeah, I knew literally exactly 0% of the characters before this movie came
Me too.
out. Zero from any backstory, any time in comics, whatever.
Yeah.
Different cartoons. 0% of the characters.
And then you watch the movie, you fell in love
and you
instantly.
fell in love and
Even with Gamora, because she's a trained assassin.
Yes.
Who's a daughter, supposedly, by Thanos.
Thanos, which is big.
Yeah.
Because at the time this movie came out, Thanos is just starting to they're just starting to introduce him.
This is the one that he was going after the Infinity Stones.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
And
He's already started his quest. You're right, I
his
think.
quest to get the
Yes.
Infinity Stones,
Yes.
because this one introduced the Power Stone this time.
The Power Stone, yes.
And then I forgot to mention, Gamora has a sister named Nebula,
Yes.
right?
Which we meet later on.
Yeah, later on, yeah.
But
yeah,
it's a fun movie, and then you fall in love with the characters.
and
You
the
like all
comedy is
characters.
so good.
It's a funny movie. Like it's funny,
It's funny,
right? Like
yeah.
it's comedy, and it's at the same time it's still serious. It has its
Like
story
a
in it.
story thing, you
and
know?
it ravels everything still. Not this one. I don't think was too. They didn't start raveling everything into the MCU too much in this movie. I think it was still like its own thing.
No, what they
a little bit. I had things.
Yeah,
but I don't think I had too many like callbacks to MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. And the thing is too, like this one is starting introducing they have that Sentinel the interactive being. They're no, sorry, my bad. I completely screwed up. The Kree build the Sentinels. Okay, I'll give you an example. You know what X-Men have those Sentinels that the mutants face against?
Yes.
It's similar like this, but they're ginormous.
Right.
So you know that big head you see in space that they float? It's called Unknown or like Nowhere or whatever. Yeah. That's just a preview of the movies they're gonna come out in the future about this
story.
The story of the Sentinels.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And they're the ones that hold the Kree are the only ones that can carry the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, they mentioned that after in following movies.
Yeah, because they introduced fully introduced the Collector.
Right.
In this movie.
Are you sure it wasn't Sentinel Prime on Cybertron?
Yeah, the Dark Side of the Moon.
It sounds like that, right? Sentinel.
Yeah, Sentinel. Yeah. But God. Yeah, man. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yes,
it was such a good movie.
It's like I said, it's a fun. It has everything you look for in what we're rating kind of thing.
Like action.
It's fun,
comedy.
Good action, comedy.
Yeah.
Soundtrack out of this world.
Such a good movie.
So if you want to get into ratings,
yeah, for me, I'm gonna give this one a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to sit on the same number as you. 8.5 is too low for a movie like this. 9.5 is too high because it's not that great.
So you're gonna go the same as me?
So I'm gonna go the same with you.
9?
At 9.
Okay.
And it's mostly because of the soundtrack. I think it just propels it over other movies.
For me, the reason why I give it a 9 because of the comedy, the action in the movie, and the soundtrack.
Exactly.
Done.
It all ravels perfectly, and that's what I'm saying.
And the story too.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It ravels everything perfectly together. It's everything you look for.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I will give it a 9 as well.
Very nice.
Quickly before we move on, I do want to start talking about Transformers on this podcast because, and it will come in coming weeks because we haven't yet, and it's something we both I think grew up with, and we like to talk about with MCU, and there's we haven't even unraveled it, we haven't even touched Transformers. So in maybe next episode or something we'll talk about Transformers because I actually just recently watched the first 3 movies I think. Again,
the Transformers,
and they're really good. Well, say what you want about Michael Bay and the way he did the Transformers movies, but they're good movies.
First one's good. Second one is
the first one's really good.
First one's actually decently good.
The first one's really good.
Second one is eh.
The second one is a big eh.
What was it? What was the third one?
Dark of the Moon, really good movie.
Dark of the Moon.
I like that movie. Yeah,
that one was actually pretty good. That one was Sentinel Prime.
Dark of the Moon. Yes, Dark of the Moon or something.
I think it was Dark of the Moon.
I think it was Dark of the Moon.
Dark of the Moon. And
that's the one with Sentinel Prime.
And the fourth one was with what the hell was it called?
After that, 4 and 5.
Yeah, I know. I think the last one was
after Shia LaBeouf. It's kind of goes downhill.
I know.
But for me,
I forgot the name of the fourth one was.
Oh my goodness, something Knights.
Extinction.
It was either Age of Extinction or the Knights, but I think Knights was the fifth one. Age of
Extinction that introduced Grimlock.
Yes, and then the fifth one I think was
the Last Night.
The Last Night.
That's it.
Where Optimus gets brainwashed.
Correct? By the creators.
Yes.
Who created the Transformers, supposedly.
Yes. So, we'll talk more about it because I want to get into it. I really like, especially those first ones, nostalgia, really good. And actually, Bumblebee 2 came out and they redid the designs of the Transformers. They look really good.
Yeah, and actually I like it too because it has the battle on Cybertron.
It actually shows that. Yeah.
Yes.
It has a different feel than the original Transformers movies. Yeah.
And they just came out with the show too on Netflix.
You mentioned, that's right.
War of Cybertron.
Yes.
That one's actually really good too.
We'll get into that and we'll talk about that
really
too for sure. All right, so moving back to video games a little bit. A little bit. GameStop, I guess because of the pandemic, and we see a lot of stores
just
going
all
this.
in general, like all the money they wasted.
I don't think it's
lost.
I don't think it's just the pandemic. I think
just in general, they
were losing money.
They were losing billions,
like a lot of money,
billions.
And then I think on top of everything with the pandemic, they're closing 450 stores in the States.
I know.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
I know the States is a big company, but
wherever they have a GameStop.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, but I don't care. The States is a big. if you think on the big scale of things, like how many GameStops are there? It's probably hundreds, right?
Oh yeah,
or thousands.
Like
such big,
almost half of
a huge world and a half,
almost half of it gone.
Yeah, exactly. in one shot, like it's. I think you have to be a little bit worried about this type of stuff because we know everything's going digital, but at the same time, I'm scared of only one like distributor for stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or you only start to have two options or something. Like, back years ago, we used to have so many game consoles, so many different games and companies making games, so many different stores selling games. So I GameStop closing almost 500 stores is a little concerning.
Funny story about that.
Yeah.
And there's a mall here where we live. It's called Shoppers World.
Yep.
They had a GameStop in the mall.
Mm-hmm. An EB Games.
An EB Games.
Yes. Which is GameStop for Canadians.
Yeah, and then like everyone just kept going to GameStop, and then like, what's the point of opening the store? So they closed it. And they have only the EB Games available in Canada right now.
In Canada, yes.
Right.
So it's tough. It's tough situation. I think that independent game stores are actually doing quite well.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
I think it's like chains like this that are struggling, which is still concerning because, independent game stores, they can do so much with everything. Like
usually independent game stores, they have like their most top sellers are like the retro stuff.
Yes. I will agree with that, yes.
Retro back in like 2 years ago, it was like a big thing. People wanted to go into retro.
But my point is, even now, it's still
it's
still popping off, right?
Yeah, even now.
But my point is, like, big chains like GameStop, they don't do that. They're mostly just like your PS4,
whatever's new, they get rid of the old stuff. And,
exactly.
You know what I mean? The bargain bin and see you later.
That's why I think independent game stores, they don't really have rules like that. They can just do whatever they want, sell whatever they want.
Exactly.
So I think I think we're going to see a shift, but I don't know if the shift is... It is a good thing on one hand. Like I want to see more independent stores succeed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, seeing certain chains go down like that for the reasons they're going down, it's a little concerning for me.
Yeah.
And I think
totally
everything's heading to digital, and it's a good thing, but it's not entirely a good thing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The other thing that I saw is Nintendo has confirmed. It's not a rumor. They've confirmed they're working on new hardware, which means a new system.
Yeah, they're making the Nintendo Switch believe in 4K.
In 4K?
Yeah.
See, here's why I don't know. Okay, do you know that for a fact?
Well, I saw a YouTuber's video.
He's thinking that's what this is?
He said that supposedly, for what he said, is confirmed that they are making a 4K version of Nintendo Switch. So.
Okay. The only reason why I don't think it might not be that, I could be wrong, it could be that. The only thing or reason why I don't think it's that is because if it was, they would just come out and be like, there's going to be a new update to the Switch.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
And then it'll just create hype by itself. But they haven't said anything. They're just like, we're working on new hardware. So maybe it could be a new system.
It's probably
something, right?
It's probably either two things: a new NVIDIA card, in the Switch,
perhaps, yes,
and better battery life, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah. No, I don't think it's as big. I don't think it's like a brand new console. I'm not trying to create like
I don't think
hype
so.
Or something.
It's just those two things. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's something smaller, but I found it weird that they're like, we're working on new hardware, and not just be like, we're gonna release an update for this, but we're not gonna tell you what.
Yeah.
Usually companies do that. They'll be like, we're gonna release a new update for the PS4, but we're not gonna tell you what it is, and then they'll come out with a PS Pro or something, right?
Yeah.
Or PS4 Pro, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. One thing I thought you would like that I saw this week is there is a rumored Mass Effect trilogy.
I hope so.
Coming.
I hope so.
To the, I guess, next gen consoles, right?
They're most likely to release on PS4 as well. And
most likely, yeah,
Xbox
100%.
One, so.
At least for depending when it comes out.
Yeah.
Because it's rumored. So
I hope so.
I
man.
have no idea when this is going to come out.
Such a good trilogy.
Good trilogy. So
you even enjoy it.
Yeah, I see. I haven't played it, so it's something I know you. Like, I'm putting this on you. Like, you know what it is.
Like,
right?
you
so
like the sci-fi stuff. I'm telling you, so much sci-fi.
Yeah, you like. Yeah, so I know what it is. It's not like I don't know what this is. Right?
Yeah,
I know what it is. I just never played it.
The story throughout the three games, Andromeda, it's phenomenal.
But it's So
you know what I mean?
It's we'll see what happens because it's just rumored.
Okay, so like
yeah,
the first game, bad gameplay, amazing story. Second one, decent gameplay, really good story. Excuse me. Jeez. The third game is okay story and good gameplay.
Yes. That's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you have your mix.
The third one just wraps up everything.
Everything. Yes.
You know what I mean?
So we'll see what happens with that. It's rumored. It's not. I don't like to bring up rumors too much, but it's just something I thought.
I hope so, man. Because
we'd mention.
It's a really good trilogy, and I hope it does happen. So
yes. As well as this week, the GameCube turns 19 years old.
That's a really good console.
It's it holds up today, you know. Like it doesn't, they don't have any new games, but it holds up.
Yeah, it holds up.
It's a fun console.
Now the games for it are like skyrocketing in prices.
Yes,
man.
Anything retro like that. I say retro, it's not that old.
It's retro. It's
retro at this point, right?
It's retro, yeah.
So it turns 19 this week, which is I thought it was older, I won't lie. But just thinking about it, right? You think retro and like the GameCube, like it just seems older than it is.
It has really good games, man. I can name like Smash Brothers, Super Mario Sunshine, which is just released
new one on Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch. It's called Mario 3D All Stars.
Yes, that really just came out yesterday.
Really good one. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, which is the remaster of the first game on PS1.
Yep.
Oh, I can keep going. F-Zero X. Eternal Darkness. Yeah, Eternal Darkness. That's a really good.
So many to name, it's like hit after hit. You know what I mean?
It's such a good console, like a little thing. Oh,
yeah, man.
Oh,
my favorite,
my favorite franchise, the Resident Evil.
Yes.
Nintendo bought the rights to put Resident Evil 0 and the remake of the first one that came on PlayStation on the GameCube first.
Really?
And Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was first released on the GameCube.
On the GameCube.
Yeah, and then they put out Resident Evil 2 and then 3 and then Code Veronica X. But those, like I was just saying before, it was 0, the remaster of the first one, and 4 were only available on the GameCube at the time.
Yes.
Now you can buy on every console.
Anything you want. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the world we live in too.
That's
right?
the thing. And then Sony got in, and then blah 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 whatever,
and so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. Such a good game console, man.
Before we get into our favorite segment, you mentioned last week hashtag Alive on Netflix.
Yes, I did.
I did not watch all of it. I watched half of it, and it's not because I didn't like it. I ran out of time.
Okay.
I was a little bit busy this week, so I got to watch half of it. I will say,
I'm intrigued.
It's a interesting concept. And it also looks like a lower budget film.
Yeah,
they shoot it in one place, and it kind of looks like a
lower
budget,
it is.
Which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But it looks like an interesting concept. I'm going to finish it because it actually pulled me in. The beginning, it gets you right away. It does not start slow.
5 minutes, just boom, it hits.
It does not start slow. 1 minute in, it hits. Right,
it hits.
It's really good. And the way you described it actually last week and hyped it up, it is pretty good. So I would recommend, if I
actually really like it.
If you like the type of movies, kind of zombies and stuff like that, it's an interesting concept. I would recommend it. So I'm gonna finish it, and maybe we can do a full review next week.
Sounds good.
So we'll go from there.
I liked it that much. I watched it 3 times already.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty good, man.
I liked it, man.
So far,
it's really good.
So we'll see what happens, and we'll do a review on it because I do think it's pretty good. All right, so we'll get into our favorite segment of every week, I guess, of the podcast. Mm-hmm. It is now time for Darius's difficulties and Andrew's annoyances. If you'd like to sponsor not only the podcast, but sponsor their segment, please reach out to us on any of our social medias. Links are all in the description or in the details if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Please do.
Or email us. You can find the email as well in all that good stuff in the details. So, Andrew, what's
my annoyances this week?
What is your annoyance? What pisses you off?
What really pisses me off is that people, just whatever, any ginger, whatever, put so much bloody perfume and cologne on themselves, and it just
reeks.
It just hits the nostrils.
Yes.
And some perfumes and cologne just burns It feels like the hairs in your nose are
burning off. Yes, I totally understand that. You know what though? God. I will say that's perfume or cologne is good.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
a little bit. It's a nice little scent.
It's a nice little scent to not make you have bad hygiene.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
No, keep your hygiene up, but use it to smell good. I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, 100%.
But Like, goddamn.
Don't douse yourself in it.
Goddamn.
Yeah, because too much of anything is too much.
It's like
don't do that.
It's like some people go out and get like the aftermarket ones, and it just it smells like.
And if you still wear Axe to spray on, dude.
Yeah, like
don't lather
Old
yourself
Spice
in
all
it,
the way
man.
to
Old Spice 100%. Definitely not sponsored by them, but you know.
But like Jesus, man.
But dude, lathering yourself in that stuff is too much.
Yeah, and it's
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, man, it's just like my nose just
screaming
because
for help.
I really have bad allergies.
Oh yeah,
and like
I think that affects most people. Yeah,
yeah, and when it hits, oh my god, I'd be sneezing for like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, we can't stop. So
it's crazy. So Darius, what's your difficulty this week?
All right, so I've kind of mentioned something similar to this. I think in one of the first podcasts we did, but I want to get into more specific.
Please do tell.
What pisses me off, and if you don't drive. I'm sorry, but you might not understand this. But if you do drive, you will 100% understand this and hate it. Let's say you want to make a left turn, right? You're making a left turn at a light, right? So you have to wait. You have to wait your turn. No problem. So
I'm just intrigued because I know where this is going.
What really pisses me off is when there's one car.
Yes.
One car.
One
coming,
car.
and you have to wait for it because you don't want to turn and die. You don't want to get hit and
Absolutely,
die.
yeah.
Preferably don't die when you're driving,
safe.
right? Exactly. Preferably you do not want to die when driving, right? So you are taking precaution. You're going to let the one car fly by even though it's one car, and you just have to wait for the one car, right? What pisses me off is when the one car that's coming is coming and you think it's going to, go past and then you can turn. You don't have enough time to turn. What pisses me off is when the car finally comes to the intersection and turns right. So you could have went left the whole time.
I know.
Because they're not signaling.
Yeah.
When they have a perfectly good signal built into the car.
Yeah.
And if people didn't want to use, trust me, it's cheaper not to put signals in cars. So if they didn't want you to use them, they wouldn't put them in cars.
Exactly.
So
might as well just take out the stick.
Exactly. So they're in there for a reason.
I know.
Use them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So then you could have turned left the whole time because the guy was going to turn right anyway behind you. But now you have to wait for him to come and make his right, and then you go. Or maybe you're waiting for him, right? Or her, whoever may be driving.
Yes.
Makes the right, and then there's more cars behind him. So you could have made your left the whole time, right?
Yeah.
But now you have to wait for more cars to come because they were behind him. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
It's unbelievable
that really
how
makes
people
me mad.
do not signal in situations like that. That I see it way too often. It's unbelievable.
It's really, really, really annoying.
And that's what gives me difficulties this week.
Not
even this week. That happens all the time, but that's what I'm talking about this week.
Why?
It's very frustrating how people don't signal. It's very frustrating.
You know why? Because people don't give a shit.
They're lazy. It's laziness. Or I don't know what it is. Because I signal because I need to let somebody know where I'm going or else I could get hurt. I could get hurt.
Now that I'm working
somebody else.
This late shifts this past week.
Sure.
I always signal if there's no cars around. Because
even then, I see people... You should be signaling even if nobody's around.
I always signal because it's like in the back of your head, like
yes.
I change lanes. I use my signal
to change lanes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
But like,
and it's common courtesy as well.
I don't know, man.
It's a safety thing, to be honest.
These people, man. Like, I think what it is just they just go to someone and just pay for the license and that's it.
Yeah. The other thing that when there's lanes that have turn signals on them, you know what I mean? I don't know how to. So I don't know.
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah.
When they have the painted, right or left turn.
Yes.
When people are in those lanes waiting at a light, they don't signal either. I get I get that people know what way you're going. Still signal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You should still be signaling. The one that throws me off the most is if you ever get off the highway, and I know a lot of people have seen this before too.
Oh.
You have your right lane that will have the right turn
to exit out.
Paint on the thing
to
exit.
Out, yeah.
Then you have your left turn lane, and sometimes in the middle you'll have one that has both for trucks.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people go in that lane and still don't signal. What way are you going, bro?
Where are you going?
What way are you going? I don't know. That's dangerous.
It is.
That is dangerous. It has the you know what? On camera you can see it. Sorry, but I don't know how to describe it. It has the two arrows going both ways.
Yeah.
People are in that lane. They don't have their signal on. I have no idea where you're going, dude. And I have no idea where you're going.
There's an area to a street in my area that it has a left turn signal, and then it has a right one. In the middle, you just go straight.
Yes.
You see the freaking painted white arrows on the
street of which you are driving.
Driving either to go left or go right.
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
People stay in the middle one, and then all of a sudden they make a
right.
A right or
left.
A left.
It blows me away. It's unbelievable.
I'll give you right now example. If the car was right here, I just see this water bottle's the car right in front of me.
This is for camera. If you're watching on YouTube, sorry.
If I'm going like right behind, I honk the crap out of the horn.
Yes, because it's like this is the lane of which we are going straight.
Exactly.
If you wanted to make your turn, go into the appropriate lane for that.
And after sometimes if my
holds up traffic,
like I put my windows down, I go. Good job,
buddy.
Good job.
Or you like, come on, man.
Like,
people are
use some common sense. You know what I mean?
Just unbelievable, man.
Just like I don't understand.
Well, that is what annoys us and gives us this difficulties this week. So yeah, it was a jam-packed episode today. We had some breaking news. That was really fun.
Yes, it was.
So thank you very much for watching and listening this week. We'll be back next week, I'm sure, with some breaking news on something. A lot of everything's popping off now. There's information on movies and games,
like left, right, and center.
Left, right, center. It's going to be a busy time coming up soon here.
Yes, it is
soon. The other thing I wanted to mention before we end the podcast is we're definitely not going to end the podcast, but in terms of like video, we're not sure, because we live in Canada and we're not going to sit out here during a pandemic and record when it's snowing and it's minus 40 out.
Yes.
So we're not doing that. So we're going to figure something out. We're not sure if we're going to start it next week or the week after. To be honest, we don't know.
Yeah.
So we just have to see where things go, and we'll go from there. But I don't think either of us want to end the podcast. Like, I'm having a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. I'm having a blast doing this.
This is something we want to continue doing. We're just going to have to figure out the logistics going forward of how we actually do it and what it would look like going forward.
Yeah,
so,
I totally agree.
That being said, thanks so much for watching and supporting this podcast. You can find us on YouTube, obviously. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you want to listen to podcasts, we're on there. You can find us on social media. We have a new Instagram page. Please follow us there. We post clips all the time. You can find all that good stuff and all the links to that and our email in the description and on the details page. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening this week. And Andrew?
Yeah, take care of yourself, and please, 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 for the love of God, be safe out there.
Yeah, in terms of signaling
and just driving, just in general, and this pandemic going on, please be safe. And just calm down on the cologne and perfume. You know what I mean?
Calm down on the cologne, perfumes, and start signaling.
Yeah,
I will not stop, I cannot stop. I'm gonna win the fight. Always running towards my goals, faster than the speed of light. Flying over any obstacle, I swear that I'm a kite. Every struggle is a blessing if you're looking at it right. Unstoppable, yeah, I'm unstoppable.